Morning Thailand supported by Wings Learning Circle, customized English course for your business. And welcome back to our program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Bo Golf and of course Kun Chain. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ
Now Kun Chain, like yesterday, we're going to recap the 2013 the incident, and I think the best thing, well, not the best, but you know, one of the biggest thing to talk about is the demonstrations that took place. Mind you, a lot of people might have forgotten about the para-rubber demonstration already that took place in October. 16 provinces of the southern region of Thailand, actually the para-rubber farmers as well as the palm oil farmers actually gotten together and pretty much trying to demand that the government buy their produce at 100 to 120 baht per kilogram for the para-rubbers. However, this is actually pretty much stem from what Kun Bo has said about the rice pledging scheme, because somehow the government actually promised the farmer 15,000 baht per tons for the rice. So para-rubbers kind of feel left out. And a lot of people make that into a political conflict as well, because southern region is Democrats, which is the opposition party's stronghold. So with that, Kun Chain, various demonstrations, recap us a little bit in terms of what has led to this particular case. I mean, we know about the para-rubber already, but as for the one that we're facing right now.
But just to remind you, this particular para-rubber protest is the cause that caused the incident that Kun Chain Thesuban drew 2 chairs to the House Speaker.
That's right.
Because he believed that he would not get a chance to talk about this issue inside the parliament.
See, it's stem all the way there. And it got violence too, mind you. There's like a lot of bullets flying, and as you can see, 18-wheelers were actually has been, well, not abducted, but pretty much sieged and then put to block the Phet Kasem road and kind of paralyze the trade around the area for quite some time.
Right, but I would say that over the year we have seen various demonstrations from many groups. So I believe we can just call it the year of demonstration.
Nice.
Before this year, there were quite a number of groups already. The red shirt, the yellow shirt, the multi-color shirt, as well as occupational groups. This year, the new faces have made their appearance in the political arena of this country. One of those is the V for Thailand group, the White Mask, or the Guy Fawkes Mask.
The Guy Fawkes, yeah.
Who is the anti-government group using the White Mask as a sign of rebellion, as they want to highlight an anti-tyranny inside the parliament. Another White Mask, another group, is the Hanuman Mask, who is also the anti-government group, but using the Ramayana's white monkey mask, claiming that they cannot be killed easily.
Okay. So lots of symbols basically being drawn by the mask that we used.
Right. But the most popular one is the PDRC, or the People Democratic Reform Council, which is led by Democrats veteran politician Kun Suthep Theaksuban, who is now being called Lung Kamnan because he used to be a sub-district headman.
That's right, and his bio came out later on saying that he was the first sub-district headman that actually graduated with a master's degree from abroad.
It was quite a bold move, I would say, for Kun Suthep to resign from the party, along with another 8 MPs, including his stepson, Kun Ekanat Prompran, who is now a spokesperson for the PDRC. The rally received support from various anti-government partners, as well as many schools and universities which organized their own segments to join the rally. For example, the group of students and employees of Chulalongkorn University, Thammasat University, and NIDA, and many more. However, many academics and press comments that these does not reflect the whole organization, rather that they are the people who want to exercise their political rights accordingly to the constitution. The rallies are quite peaceful, but causing many epic traffic congestion from time to time, especially during the Freeze Bangkok campaign. As well, the UDD or the Red Shirts have come out to voice their opposition to this movement, and there was a brief confrontation in front of Ramkhamhaeng University at the end of November, which there were both deaths and injury reported. As well, the PDRC and its faction have quite battled with the police around the government house and the police headquarters, where we saw tons of tear gas and rubber bullets firing at the protester. However, that ended with a kissing of two sides, where the police decided to stop the firing. But unfortunately, right now, since Thursday last week, there has been a report of a fight between a faction of PDRC, not the whole PDRC, and the police at the registration venue, as they wanted to disrupt the registration process. Out of the blue, the tear gas were firing at the protester. As for now, one death is reported, and we still have to wait how this one will quite end.
Because obviously that's more updates that
Right.
needs to be done. All right. With that, obviously we have a lot more. Is that all the demonstrations that
Right.
we could think of? Obviously, and there's more to report because obviously has been one of the biggest things that led to this. First, I guess we have to start with the resignation, a bold move from the Democrat MPs who decided to. Was it happened before the House dissolution or after the House dissolution?
Before
Right?
the House dissolution.
Yeah, so the entire Democrat Party pretty much resigned, right?
Right. The whole Democrat Party resignation was a big shock for the Thai people, because one of the reasons is that at first the PDRC movement and the Democrat Party expressed quite different views on the strategy they use in the movement, such as the seizing of state offices strategy. But later the whole party decided to resign to participate in the movement. That led to a joining hands of the yellow shirt who promised that if the Democrat Party resigned from the parliament to fight on the street, they will join the movement. The yellow shirt leader, Kun Sonthi Limthongkul, comments on that. I believe in the mid of the year.
Yeah,
But-
it was mentioned before, but Democrat Party didn't really take that offer.
Right. And at first we didn't believe that this will happen ever,
True. It was shocking.
because it is close to impossibility for the Democrat to organize a street protest. So this quite reflects that they have come to the point that they realize that they do not stand a chance inside the parliament. We have seen many joint meetings where the ruling party won every single vote with no chance of the opposition parties to win or in some cases to voice their concerns. As well, for the House dissolution issue is quite an unexpected move as well for the Prime Minister Kun Yingluck Shinawatra, because before that she insisted that she would not resign no matter what, because she received more than enough support from the
That's
people
true.
nationwide who
Right.
voted for her. However, after being scrutinized and pressured for years, until the point that the PDRC and the supporters come out on the street conducting many activities, the PM decided to dissolve the House and set February the 2nd as a general election date next year. Nonetheless, she and her cabinet are still the acting government that doesn't please the PDRC and the anti-government protester quite well, as they now are pressuring her to resign from the position to allow a non-partisan prime minister and the government to organize the election with the reform before the election. So now they propose 1.5 year a period of time to reform the country, which I would say it quite takes a lot of time for that proposal, and it sounds like to pull a plug of the democratic regime, not to push a refresh button.
Okay. And of course, with that, a lot of people are saying that is almost like pressing for us to going back in time of the coup that the military will have to take charge.
Right.
And that's led to the constant. I actually feel for the army chief because he has been asked, I think, ever like mid of the year.
Right.
Until now, and he has to time and time again saying that no, there's not
Actually,
gonna be
he
no
was asked just since the very first day of his position
Poor
as the army
man.
chief.
Yeah.
He's been asked almost day by day, isn't it?
So our last recap is the coup. The army chief has been
That did not
asked
happen.
all the time at all interviews for the possibility of the coup, which he always answered with an obvious glance of annoyance that there will be no coup. People quite expect for the coup even more once Kun Yingluck appointed herself as a minister for defense ministry, because in the past there would be a coup whenever the military reshuffle and the defense minister position are interfered from the politicians. Still, there was no coup. Funny thing that I found from this kind of news is that Prachin Chantong, the Air Force chief, has constantly come out commenting that the army would not instigate a coup, which actually the Air Force doesn't have a say in this.
It was quite interesting, let's just say.
Historically.
Yeah.
But I would say that the issues receive a lot of attention from the public, especially once the PDRC is on the street demanding that the army is siding with the people, meaning that to conduct a coup. Until today, the army is still firm on their non-partisan position, and the army chief still has annoyingly responds to the questions of the coup with the no answer.
And they have a hard time trying to stay neutral too, because mind you, the general Prayut Chan-o-cha, you can tell he's a little bit of a short-tempered, but he tried his very best to like pull it together, right? But
contain everything.
sometimes it's hard.
Right, and I believe that it is not as easy as the good old days that the army could just conduct a coup to end all political conflicts.
I don't know if I want to call that good old days, but yeah,
the old days.
Olden days.
And it has been proved that the old style of fixing the problem cannot sustainably create democratic regime in our country.
That's true.
But at first we thought that the Democrat Party would not resign from the parliament, and given that anything can happen in the Thai politics. But for me, I would not just pull the coup card out of the table just yet.
Okay, so we're going to have to wait and see, I guess. And of course, that have to conclude our episode and of course our program as well. It's very unfortunate have to give you this news because we're not going to continue on greeting you for tomorrow. It's very sad for next year. This is our last episode, however, but you can always email us, give us a little bit of comment. This is just a little break and hopefully we'll come back to you once again. And our email is morningthailandshow@gmail.com. And thank you, Wings Learning Circle, customized English course for your business, for your sponsor as well. And as for now, I'm Wanasan Kurahong.
Pavada Mung Sidi.
Sreda Juntasuthanakul.
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ